Hello everyone, hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Today we're going to do All Saints Week 2024. It actually started up today and I just happened to be off work today, so I thought let's just go ahead and do it today. But let's not dilly-dally anymore. We start off the quest at the amphitheater, the MK amphitheater in Gridania like usual. And we started over here by talking to Her Gourdiness, or I think that's the joking name that that they've used before. Anyway, let's talk to the pumpkin-headed apparition and get started. The Aether-starved Ahriman. Yes, looks like we got Mr. Gruff or whatever his name is again. I don't know if he's been in a previous one or not, but let's see how this plays out. The pumpkin-headed apparition is on the lookout for an able adventurer. Well, I happen to be an able adventurer. It's been more than a few moons since last we met, friend. As it so happens, I have a proposition suited to your talents. Are you prepared to throw caution to the wind and consort with fiends most foul once again? I mean, isn't that what I do every day at work? I mean, what? Of course you are, but before we get to the heart of the matter, let's reflect upon the history of All Saints Week. Do we have to? On this night, do fell fiends emerge to cavort and careen, unconcerned with the judgment of those on high. For the halls of the saints' heavenly abode ring with merriment as the wine flows freely, and no one can be bothered to look down. Thus did God's-fearing folk greet this particular sunset with trepidation, daring not to venture from their homes. No longer, nay, for adventurers came and drove out the voidsent, restoring safety to the city's streets and marking the occasion as one of jubilation. That's all well and good, but what of the poor forsaken fiends? Are they too not deserving of reverie? My wish is to see All Saints Week reborn as a celebration for all, be they ghost, ghoul, Gridanian, or otherwise. And how do I propose to accomplish this feat? Binding obligations, friend. I've convinced the more sinister sorts to enter into contracts which forbid them from preying on mortals. In exchange, they are permitted to partake in the festivities. But there's one troubled soul who still seems incapable of getting into the spirit of things. Perhaps you'd be willing to give me a helping hand? Nothing too devilishly difficult, I promise. Before you get started, you'll want to get a grasp on the particulars by speaking to Papa Gruff. He ought to be performing one of his shows by the entrance to the Great Loam Growery. Now go. I shall be watching your performance with great interest. Why do I feel like I'm being threatened? Seek out Papa Gruff near the entrance to the Great Loam Growery. I dare say you'll find him in the midst of one of his performances. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what you said before. Anyway, let's head on over to the Growery, which is, yeah, let's just hoof it over there. There's no close Aetherite. The closest Aetherite is the one I'm going to walk past. Let's head on over the bridge. Should be able to, yeah, there it is. Yeah, Papa Gruff was the, one of the voidsent clowns. And actually, I use I think it's the 2021 All Saints Week legs for this glam that I'm always wearing. Yeah, the Wig Doctor bottoms. And I got that from, yeah, I think the 2021 event. I'll need to check that later. But let's stop messing around talking about glam. We got some voidsent to talk to. Although it pains me so, our humble performance must draw to a close. Let us then end things on a high note. Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you feast your eyes on the fantastic Philcox and his transformation magics. Oh right, last year we got that emote, I think. That's not very impressive transformation magics. What was all that about? The clowning and whatnot was a right laugh, but that's a bit was bleeding rubbish. Come on, let's get out of here. Well, that didn't go according to plan. Is this the other voidsent that we need to take care of? Once more, you failed to muster up even an ounce of magical prowess. I had the crowd in the palm of my hand. We'd have been the toast of the town, if not for your blunder. There you go again, shrieking the same old tune. I've had it up to my eyeball with this farce. Just because you know a few cheap tricks doesn't give you the right to treat me like that. I can't stand the sight of you, let alone the thought of taking to the stage with you again. Good riddance. That didn't work out very well. Well, well, fate has conspired for us to cross paths once again. Out with it, Nan. I know you're not here to swap pleasantries. Yeah, so Her Gourdiness said, I guess kind of threatened me to help you. A foul fiend failing to get in the spirit of All Saints' Wake. I'd wager you speak of Philcox, the fellow who stormed off in a huff. Like most of our ilk, Philcox and I have an insatiable appetite for Aether. But unlike your garden variety voidsent who hunt hapless mortals like beasts, we prefer to sate our hunger on their enthusiastic approval. Kind of reminds me of the plot for Monsters, Inc. I tell you, there's no Aether as delectable as you'll find in a food gifted in genuine appreciation. Which has set me thinking, perhaps preying on mortals was an old-fashioned and misguided approach. Yeah, it's like literally the plot for Monsters, Inc. It's like scare them or make them happy. Thus did I commit to giving folk the sort of frights that dazzle and delight, winning hearts and minds, and in the process no small number of Aether-laden delicacies. And what better occasion for such terrifying amusements as All Saints' Wake? The method is catching, too. Many voidsent now seek Aether in this manner. Philcox is one such reformed individual. When I first laid eyes upon him, I sensed promise. But get him in front of a crowd, and you're lucky to get a smattering of a half-hearted applause, let alone a few measly crumbs. You'd be better off hearing it from the Ahriman's mouth, though. He can't have gotten far. Well, I guess let's go talk to him. Does he have, like, stage fright? Like that, I forget what they're called. The big giant thing in the Easter and Little Ladies' Day event that they cheaped out on and only did one event for it. Okay, there he is. Philcox. So, what's the problem, bro? That sniving whelp of an imp. Magic's this, magic's that. The sheer, unbridled cheek of it. Philcox is practically frothing at the mouth. So incensed is he by his temperament at the hands of Papa Gruff. You must soothe him before you can conversation. Yeah, I know. Apologies. I had taken leave of my senses. Your timely intervention is much appreciated. Wait, by the look of you, I'd say you're an adventurer. Let me guess. That pumpkin-headed lady sent you to check up on me, did she? Yeah. I mean, it really wasn't asking. It was more like a threat, but we'll just gloss over that. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you my tale. Try as I might, I just can't get the hang of transformation magics. And without the means to delight the crowd, we're starved for appreciation. I'm an Ahriman. Ahriman, sure, Ahriman. Paralyzing prey with this big eye of mine. Not a problem turning them to stone with a petrifying glare. A trifling task. Hells, I can even smell despair and all manner of negative emotions in the people around me. Obviously, paralysis and petrification won't win over an audience. Could have fooled me. And my metaphorical nose for despair isn't going to put Aether on the table either. I ought to just tell that pumpkin-headed lady I'm not cut out for this business. If you're here at her behest, you'd better come too. I don't think that's a good idea. Her Gourdiness does not tolerate failure. Well, let's go ahead and take the Aetherite back, a quick shortcut. I don't think Her Gourdiness is gonna like this. I think we're gonna have to help him out a bit more. We're gonna have to do a little more than just a single soothe. Alright, Madam Gordy. Or Madam Gord. What? Didn't I? Oh, okay. I wasn't pressing the right key. That about sums it up. I give it my all and not to show for it. Which is to say, I've come to the conclusion that I will never be an entertainer. Press X to doubt. Well, it seems like he's already told you, Madam Gord. But I guess we gotta watch a cutscene of him doing it too. I gather you had a hand in Philcox's decision to lay bare his thoughts and feelings. Well, all I did was type/soothe, but I guess that'll... Yes, I did. Not that it did any good. I'm still stuck at square one. Underappreciated and underfed. Sounds like all artists. Such a curious child. Are you truly so blind to your own potential? No doubt you have an inkling as to what I speak of. Nope, not a clue. Pray share your wisdom with Philcox. You gotta believe, man. You can smell dark emotions. Use your gift to help those in need. Stamp out any negativity you sense within the common folk. And let's go with the first one. It's a lot more straightforward. Well, you'd be hard-pressed to find a voidsent who'd suggest that. I don't see how helping others helps me. But then again, I know little of mortal ways. Perhaps I should heed your advice. Ah, wait. I see the logic in it now. What better way to make use of my talents and knock that pompous Popogruff right off his pedestal? No. I'm getting ahead of myself. I have no idea where to start. Perhaps I can lend a hand with this little sleight of hand. Hold still. If she says hold still, you better start running. Either we're using that emote again. Oh, right. Okay, this is the glam you get for this event. I can see this. I can see people using this stuff for, especially the boots and maybe the, yeah, actually like the whole outfit. I can see people using parts of it in different glams. I didn't realize the shirt had the wings on the back. I think it would be better if it didn't, but I see why they did. Not only is that getup guaranteed to turn heads, well, that's for sure. Looks like he's going to a My Chemical Romance concert. Not only is that getup guaranteed to turn heads, each and every thread is imbued with the potent magic to aid in your newfound purpose. Oh, you know, I think I can feel it. Bro, you just changed your clothes. Maybe this isn't going to be so tough after all. There you are. You know, I had thought to apologize for my harsh words earlier, since our act was my initiative and therefore our success, or lack thereof, was ultimately my responsibility. But I sense you've been scheming. It pleases me to inform you, Popogruff, that I found a way to win over mortals on my own terms. I find that hard to believe, but since you seem so confident, why don't we have ourselves a contest? Okay, that's what the second quest is going to be. Whoever garners the most affection, and thereby the largest share of aether-rich I never say this word right, it's victuals? I think it's victuals. Wins. And to the victor goes the spoils of subservience. The loser will be bound to obey their every whim. How does that sound? You're on. I hope you're ready to bow and scrape. I don't think this is what she intended, but I don't think it'll be a bad thing. That immortal epithet about one's bark being worse than one's bite comes to mind. Prepare yourself, Philcox. I know I've gotten this marvelous magic outfit, but I'm still not entirely convinced I have what it takes to beat Papa Gruff on my own. Come with me, just until I get the hang of things. That's all I ask. Okay, I guess I can do that. Very well. I shall leave Philcox in your capable hands. Sure, Madam Gourd. Is this another one of your times where you're, asking? And definitely is not a threat? I trust you will do everything in your power to assist Philcox in his endeavors. Well, I can try. Right, Philcox? All friends sated on All Saints' wake. After a nudge in the right direction, Philcox is ready to embark on his mission. How about we try and find a troubled soul in need of aid? But let's get out of here first. Alright, let's see. Where are you, Philcox? Okay, over to the left there. And yeah, there he is. Alright, Philcox, do you sense anyone? Right. Time to look for folk harboring negative... What? Oh, folk. I thought it said fork. Right. Time to look for folk harboring negative feelings. Give me a moment. I don't know if it has anything to do with that pumpkin-headed lady's enchantment, but my powers feel more potent than ever. I've already found someone, and whoever they are, they're awfully flustered. They're to the northeast, I think, though I'm not sure where exactly. The roads here can be confusing. Well, at least it's not Old Da. Truth be told, this is my first time in the city. I've got a decent sense of direction, but I've yet to grasp the lie of the land. Could I trouble you to lead the way? Well, I guess they just wanted to use Endwalker following mechanics here. Our flustered target is northeast of here. I'll be right behind you. Yeah, Endwalker following mechanics. Yep. Yeah, I know. We've done this before. Alright, he said northeast, which is... Okay, so it's over by there. Over by Louis Swaz's bench. Yeah, let's head on over. Anyway, here is the first circle. Ah, such glee. They mentioned a clown. I'd wager they've just had their, privilege of seeing one of Papa Gruff's performances. Listen, I'll be the first to admit that he's an expert illusionist, and you've only got to look at folk like these ladies to see he knows how to work a crowd. But I won't be upstaged. I'll prove there's more than one way to win over an audience, by following your timely advice, that is. Right. Given the delight written on their faces, our opponent must have earned himself some sustenance, which means we've no time to lose. Onward. Alright, let's head to the actual objective. Wait, wasn't this the actual... Oh, no, this is the actual objective. Yeah, that was just the talking point. Or the speech bubble. Alright, flustered fellow, how can we help? Oh, gods! Where she's gotten to. Ah, this must be the fellow my senses were leading me to. Shall we find out what ails him? I'd say he's probably looking for someone. Or something. You, there. What's gotten you so worked up? Oh, forgive me. There was this poor little girl who's been separated from her mother. I was helping her to look, but she suddenly disappeared. I can't simply abandon her. But then again, I have an urgent personal matter to attend to, and I don't know what to do. In that case, why don't I and my associate look for the girl? That's bad grammar. Then you can see your affairs without worry. Thank you. She's a young lass dressed in blue. I hope you're able to find her forthwith. He certainly was appreciative, yet here I am, empty-handed. Ah, forget the food. We have a lost child to find. I mean, you're probably going to get a bunch of appreciation from the child and the mother if you can reunite them. I'm detecting a despairing presence to the east of here. Odds are it's the girl, which means I have need of your navigational nose once again. After you. Sir, you gotta ask nicely. Say please. And I might consider it. Anyway, it looks like it's all the way over past this Aetherite. Yeah, it looks like that there are people over there. And distressed damsel and Papa Gruff. Papa Gruff? No, Papa Gruff, you're a competition. I should have known you'd turn up sooner or later. Hello, distressed damsel, can we help you? I thought this would be a fine opportunity to accrue some appreciation, but the poor girl's beside herself. She keeps calling out for her mama. Might I enlist your help? Aren't we in competition? This must be the lost lass we've been looking for. If you want to earn her thanks, you'll need to reunite her with her mother. Wouldn't you say? I mean, yeah. Which means we now have a lady to locate. Any suggestions? I mean, she's probably distressed too. Can't you just search for her? Use your senses to search for someone feeling anxious. Why don't you try coming up with an idea yourself? The way this is phrased just kind of seems a little bit, reproachful. I don't think that's the right word. Anyway, it's a bit more, like, negative. Yeah, let's just say it straight. I mean, he should figure out how to do it himself. Ah, you were saying that the mother will be worried about her daughter having gone missing? Brilliant! This is exactly why I had you accompany me. Right then. Found her. I don't know which is the bigger boon. Having you by my side, or this fancy finery. Well, I don't want to stay by your side, so let's go ahead and deal with the finery. I think I've learned my way around the city, more or less. I'll handle this next part on my own. Wait here. I'll be back with the girl's mother in no time. Hey kid, can you stop crying? My ears are starting to bleed. "12 be praised! You're safe!" "You have my eternal gratitude." "Thank you for finding Mama, mister." "Do you believe me now, Papa Gruff? Sweet, sweet appreciation, and all courtesy of my special talent." "I can't help but notice they didn't offer you anything edible by way of thanks. For my part, I've already been rewarded with a tasty morsel." You completely forgot that part. "That said, the gift of food is far from guaranteed. Indeed, perseverance is key, which is why I find myself performing show after show. I suggest you approach this contest with the same tenacity, Philcox." I'm afraid he's right. Constant effort is key. Luckily, I sensed another troubled soul while I was tracking down the girl's mother. I'd better see what I can do to help. You know, I think I'm ready to go it alone now. Why don't you let our pumpkin-headed benefactor know? I'll come and find you when I'm done. Sure, does that mean quest complete? Or does Her Gourdiness need to ask me to do something else? Well, I'm afraid my next performance calls. Until we meet again, adventurer. Alright, looks like this is going to wrap up the last part of the quest. I think that's actually going to be all for the event. That went by pretty quickly. And then this should get us the outfit, and then there's actually a minion you can buy from the shop over here. So I'll make sure to get that as well. Alright. Her Gourdiness. Alright, Madam Gourd. The adventurer returns, and at the precise moment I predicted. I do hope keeping Philcock's company wasn't too taxing. What of our fiend and his endeavors? Well, he seems to be doing pretty good for himself, to be honest. You have my thanks, truly. Ah, speak of the devils, here they come. Dear, oh dear, that turned out to be a damn sight harder than I'd anticipated. And all I have to show for my travels is a single cookie. To think the first gift I'd receive would prove to be the last. Curses! I didn't receive so much as a crumb. I suppose this means you win. Very well. I'm yours to command, Papa Gruff. Heh, you'd admit defeat far too readily, Philcox. Hooray! We found you! I wanted to thank you properly for helping me and my mama. I brought you a pumpkin cookie, so I guess they're gonna get tied. I believe that was the emote that they added last year. The pumpkin eat pumpkin cookie or something. Simply scrumptious! That's a bit of an overreaction, but okay. I'm glad you liked it. Farewell. That makes it one apiece. A draw. Then, still, Philcox, while you had some assistance along the way, you've nevertheless done yourself proud. To think I'd live the day to see Papa Gruff sing my praises. Awfully kind of you to finally admit that I might have worth. Huh. Is that all you desire? My begrudging acceptance? Have you forgotten your reason for joining in festivities in the first place? Of course I haven't. The good people of Gridania are still in need of my help, and where there are common folk in need, there are cookies to be freed and, given to me. Epigraph, if I recall correctly, you were not too keen about doing any of this when we started out. Adventurer, I'd better get going, but before I do, let me say this. I might have found a way to make the most of my talents, but I wouldn't have been able to do so without you and the pumpkin-headed lady. I'm sure we'll run into each other again one of these days. Till then... The promise I sensed in Philcox when he and I first met wasn't illusory, after all. I should take my leave too. 'Twould be remiss of me to allow him to garner all the glory, to say nothing of the cookies. Understandable. I'd say those two fiends ended up having themselves a frightfully fun-filled All Saints' Wake. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, ma'am. Yes. And for your part in this, a fitting reward, I present to you a set of finery, as worn by Gridanian's most emotionally perceptive Ahriman. Perhaps you wonder if your outfit is endowed with the same enchantment. You needn't worry. There never was an enchantment, of course. See, I said it's just changed his clothes. That little charade was my way of giving Philcox the confidence he so sorely lacked. Although, I dare say such a measure was unnecessary, given he had you to cheer him on. Ah, before I forget, you are hereby cordially invited to my humble abode, like every year. Do drop by, I assume you'll be friendly entertaining, Anyway, your help is much appreciated. At this rate, my vision of All Saints' Wake for mortals and voidsent alike might not be such a distant prospect. Though I do hope that these shenanigans haven't dulled your enthusiasm for this most occult of occasions. No ma'am. Definitely not. Alright, there's our glam. I can see how it could work, especially how I could work that glam into some outfit, especially the boots. You know, access to the sneaky hollow, yeah. We're not gonna bother doing that because I think it's pretty mostly the same as every year. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk to the bespectacled peddler here because she actually sells a minion as well. Yeah, the flying pumpkin minion. Little black thing. Oh, I thought this was a minion. What? Could have sworn it was. Anyway, that's a tabletop thing I'll probably just throw in my house and never use. Yeah. Where did they get here? Because I was sitting on this bench when we started. Apparently they must appear during the night.